All right. Thank you. I'm
Okay.
just going to share my screen here.
Okay.
And let's start from the beginning. All right. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes. All right. So I'll kick this off. Good morning, everyone. And thank you for allowing us to present for the Office of 55 Plus programs. Again, as Gary stated, we'll have questions at the end. If it's something that we can't answer, we will give it to the subject matter expert and you will have a follow up. A little bit about myself. Hi, I'm Sharleka Ashton. I manage the 55 Plus travel program as well as virtual programs for 55 Plus. I've been for Arlington County 19 years in the travel program. I absolutely love what I do, and I love servicing the amazing people of Arlington. Next is Sydney.
Hi, guys. I'm Sydney Reed. I am the 55 Plus Countywide Program Specialist. It's a fancy title that kind of makes me sound more important than I am. I mainly oversee the sports and fitness programming for the 55 Plus program, but I also sit on the Countywide Special Events Committee. So Sharleka will talk a little bit about the different units that we work with. But I work with all of the different units to put on 4 different events throughout the year for all ages in the county. And I have been with the county for almost 6 years. I originally was a center director, and then I transitioned to this role about 4 years ago. I also love working for the county. I love being able to provide services that are worthwhile to older adults. All right. And that's how you can reach us via phone or email.
Okay, so Community Recreation Division core lines of business. The 55 plus programs, we are part of the Community Recreation Division. That includes early childhood, youth and family, office of teens, therapeutic, community arts. We work as a team to provide quality and resources to the community. Sydney serves as our 55 plus rep for our countywide events, which are intergenerational programs for all ages and abilities. Some examples, we have a program that's this Saturday. It's at Arlington, correct? It's
Correct.
Paint, Build, Create. It's one of my favorite countywide events, and it's on Saturday, and we still have slots open. Also, an example of our countywide is the Arlington Palooza. The Office of 55 Plus program, to me, and I'm very biased, is one of the top 55 plus programs all over. We celebrated our 70th last year. We had a host of programs virtually, in person. We had a huge barbecue at Lover Run with games and prizes, and it was specially catered from Rocklands, which we had great food. Our 55 plus staff provide quality programs throughout the 55 plus centers, social, 60 plus cafes, sports and fitness, virtual, travel, you name it. With these programs, we strive to provide participants an opportunity to learn, to enhance their physical and mental wellness, also to engage in our community. We find that a healthier lifestyle and social connections improve quality of life.
All right. So we have 5 55 plus specific centers in Arlington, and they are spread throughout the county. So pretty much wherever you are, you're probably going to have a center that's close to you. You can go to any of the centers. There's no rule as to which center you can go to. The Aurora Hills Center is the only one that has limited hours. They're only open on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. There are some additional centers where we do have programming that aren't listed, and that would be the Longbridge Aquatic Center. That's one of our newer facilities. I program aquatic classes there, and then there's also some additional fitness classes that take place in the fitness studio. And then there's also the Madison Community Center, which is very North Arlington. We have some tabletop games that take place there, and then also some additional fitness classes that take place there. So our 555 plus centers each have a center director that staff that site, that program activities for the day. So I recommend trying out each of the centers. Each one kind of has its own unique ecosystem there. So it's kind of interesting to see how each place flows. And to be able to utilize the programming at each of those centers, you will have to have a 55 plus pass. We have two pass options. The standard 55 plus pass gets you access to all of the programs, classes, and 55 plus trips. The classes and the trips, classes specifies anything like a fitness class, or the trips, there is an additional cost with those. So that would be the standard pass. And then our gold pass, the only difference is it gives you access to any of the fitness facilities. So at Arlington Mill, Langston Brown, Barcroft, Thomas Jefferson, I think those were the main four. Longbridge Aquatic and Fitness Center is a different membership. So that gold pass would not give you access to that fitness center. So just a heads up there. The nice thing with your Arlington Neighborhood Village membership, you get a standard 55 plus pass with that. If you wanted the gold pass, you just have to pay for the difference there, just as an FYI if you didn't know. And this lays out the pricing for those different passes. The annual rate is listed there for the Arlington County resident fee versus the non-county resident, and it's for the standard individual or a household. And to pay for those, you can do those in person at any community center, online, or you can mail a registration form to LeBron Community Center, which is at 300 North Park Drive. And we have a quarterly publication called our 55 Plus Guide. This is available online. We do have a couple printed guides available on at the centers that you can get from a center director. This includes all of our programming. It's typically like a 60-page guide. We have a ton of programming that we offer. The guide is nice because it can be updated. I'm sorry, the online guide is nice because it can be updated as things change. We have to schedule things well in advance. So sometimes people don't know exactly what they're going to be doing in December when we're programming in, I don't know, 3 months prior to that. So it's nice to have that online. It also has hyperlinks within the online guide that can take you straight to the registration portal. So it's kind of a one-stop shop that you can find what you're going to do and then register for it through that online portal. So that's available on our website, and it is quarterly, and it goes by the season. So our winter guide is out now, and we're finalizing our spring guide now, which will be from March to May.
All right, 55 programs are in demand. We have some very popular programs. Sydney and I know we work for travel and we work for fitness and sports. And when it's a wait list or a trip is full, it is a lot. So we always recommend that folks put their name down on the wait list because, like I said, I've been here for 19 years. I've had a trip that had, I know, 20 people on the wait list, and I called everybody. And literally the 20th person got on because people were busy. So we encourage that we do try to make some accommodations, like even if it's a 55 plus trip, if it's available, we'll try to get a second bus or we'll try to, increase the space. Sometimes it doesn't work like that. In a situation like with Sydney, you have to have an instructor, and instructors are in high demand. So it can be difficult to just have a additional program for it. But we do strive to try to do our best when it comes down to adding and stuff like that. So
All right. So for sports and fitness, we have a ton of offerings. Something that is important to me is making sure that there is higher level fitness and seated exercise. So we're reaching levels of fitness from you're just getting back into your fitness journey to you've been working out every single day of your life since you were in your 20s. So I'm trying to make sure everyone is able to do something that they're interested in doing. So we have some familiar things like a Zumba class. We've got pretty much every type of yoga you could ever think of. I have so many yoga instructors that are trying to reach out to teach for us that I'm having to turn away because we have so much yoga right now. And then we have kind of unique things like gyrokinesis. It's kind of a unique class that we offer at Lubber Run. It's described as kind of a mix of swimming, yoga, and Tai Chi. So it's an interesting one that I've tried. So sorry, I'm getting feedback that really throws me off. And then there is aqua classes, there's drop-in fitness classes at Lubber Run. So those are pretty much all of my classes will be registration based for a series. So typically 10 to 12 classes that meet once a week. But then there's these classes, these full fitness, strength training, 55 plus seated, and total body fitness. Those are drop-in classes, so those give you a little more flexibility where you don't have to commit to that 12-week session, and you could just come when it's convenient to you. And then I do a weekly walking group, and those are on Wednesdays, and then there's a biking group that meets once every other week from spring to fall. So we're trying to appeal to everyone, and doing the best I can with that. And those programs meet all throughout the county at all of those 55 plus centers, as well as Longbridge and Madison. Some of the popular classes that are being offered this winter, we have a bar class at Longbridge. In the for FY25, our personal training program got cut from the budget. So we have developed a group training program. So it's a personal trainer and up to 6 participants getting trained. And that's been going really well. And those are offered at Madison and Thomas Jefferson. The core conditioning and strength class was something that was really popular during COVID, and that was an instructor that left post-COVID. Kind of something that I fell into in 2021 was kind of rebuilding the program. A lot of the instructors found that they were able to make a little more money doing things online or doing things independently. So kind of had to rebuild some of our offerings. So I'm happy to say that we have that class back at Walter Reed, and it's been doing really well. And then kind of a niche new program that we have is forest bathing. It's not showering outside. When I introduced that to my supervisor, she kind of raised an eyebrow to it. It's kind of mindfulness, like a mindfulness walk. We have this great volunteer, Jane Stubbs, who is she used to work for the Nature Center and is just like really knowledgeable on nature, and she takes people out and leads them on a mindfulness journey while walking out in nature. So that one's been really popular and will continue into the spring. And then leading up into things coming into the spring, something that I'm looking to do is appeal to those 55 plus and older individuals that are still working. Right now, the majority of our classes are between like 9 and 3. So those individuals that are still working can't really go to those classes. So I will be offering a cardio kickboxing class in the early morning. I think it's from 6 to 7 at Longbridge to hopefully grab some of that audience. We'll have Qigong, sorry. It's similar to a Tai Chi. Tai Chi has always been really popular with this group. I've lost some of my instructors, so I'm hoping that adding this will help kind of fill some of that open spots since we've lost the Tai Chi. And then a program that we do every year is the 55 Plus Fitness Day and Health Fair. That's at Lubber Run. This is something that we do in partnership with Marymount University. We do health screenings, fall risk assessments, there are fitness demonstrations. And then we have various vendors that come. There's usually an A&V table, so maybe we'll see some of you there. So that's a fun event. It's a free event and it's open to all ages. So hopefully we'll see you there on the 28th of May.
Okay, the 55 plus travel program. These are some pictures that were taken by our 55 plus volunteers. The picture on the left is at the Barnes Foundation in Philadelphia. In the middle is our trip to Gettysburg Battlefield. And then lastly is our picture at the Supreme Court. The 55 plus travel program, we offer about 10 to 12 trips a month. The trips range from as far as New York. We go to Norfolk, locally, DC, as well as Arlington. We have 2 trained volunteers that go on to our trips. If it wasn't for our volunteers, this program would not be successful. We rely heavily and they are outstanding. Our volunteers not only volunteer for 55 plus, some volunteer for the Kennedy Center. I have a volunteer that actually volunteers at A&V. So again, the success of the travel program is largely due to the wonderful volunteers that we have. The size of the trips, they, it's okay. They vary. It depends on how many, the capacity of the venue, uh, how many we can accommodate as far as a restaurant. We have 2 pickup locations. The pickup locations usually one in the north, one in the south. But yeah, we provide a variety of programs, educational, physical, like hikes to Theodore Roosevelt Island. Um, Locally, one of our popular trips was the water pollution plant in Arlington, or just provide entertainment, the U.S. Army Band concert. So those programs like that, which sell out pretty fast, is what keep us going. All right, so here's a list of some of our winter programs that were really successful or upcoming. We went to Chanticleer at the Hilton, the Garden Fest, which see the lights. It's in Richmond. It is absolutely beautiful. I went last year and it is amazing. One of our top trips was A Beautiful Noise, the Neil Diamond musical at National Theater. The Supreme Court was popular. The Department of Interior, which was supposed to be yesterday, but it got canceled to the snow, but they gave us an additional date. So I'm going to go ahead and reschedule that. And also the one on the 9th to the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts. We had to cancel that because they're having issues in Richmond. But luckily, they're able to give us another date and we can go. Also, Baltimore National Aquarium, the Kennedy Center Coffee Concert, and upcoming is Heartbreak Hotel. We have 2 trips scheduled for that, one in February and one in March. Sneak peek. This is a beautiful picture of Frida. We're going twice to see this exhibit at the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts. We are focusing on trying to find trips that bring more males in. So our battlefield trips have been extremely successful. John McNair was one of our county employees. He His supervisor gave him permission to continue to do programs for us. So I crossed my fingers to get 2 programs from him, even though he's not working for DPR, he works still with the county, and he's amazing. Like he's done Antietam, he's done Gettysburg, and then we're gonna do an upcoming one, Chancellorsville. These trips, he has a following. When folks know that he's gonna be leading, they sign up. So it sells out pretty quick. Also, we're going to the Philadelphia Flower Show, the Maple Sugar Festival, James Monroe's Highland Tour, and we're going to see Age of Innocence at Arena Stage.
All right, switching it up a little bit here. We mentioned a little earlier that we have the Social 60 Plus Cafe. So just going to talk a little bit about that. Social 60 Plus Cafe is offered at 3 of our 55 plus sites at Arlington Mill, Langston Brown, and Walter Reed. This is a program that you can enroll in if you are 60 or older and an Arlington resident. You are provided transportation to and from the center, lunch, and then there's special programming that's provided. This is a state-funded program, so there's certain requirements like you have to have, I think it's like 3 exercise classes a week. You have to have certain health and wellness based exercise, or excuse me, health and wellness based programming. So it's just a great opportunity to get out of the house, meet people. It's typically it's a nice program. And those are offered at those 3 sites: Arlington Mill, Langston Brown, Walter Reed. Am I forgetting anything with that, Lika?
Nope, you covered it.
Cool.
Virtual programs. So when the pandemic started, we had to shift gears and figure out how we can still provide quality programs to people even though they were indoors. And now we have a very robust 55 plus virtual programming. Steve, who's actually on the call, he's one of our trivia people, and he's really, 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 really good at trivia. And we have a following with that. It's like a core group that actually join. We do our trivia every once a month, and what I love the most about it is the group took it another step, and they actually go out to lunch together. So those kind of things is what makes it puts me in my happy place. The fact that we bring people together, but then they also can get together outside and do community stuff outside. So we've created tons of programming. We air it over Zoom, art, educational, nutritional, exercise programs, performances. It's all on there. So, and I'm happy to say that we have a great catalog when it comes down to virtual programs because some people can't get out, even still, or just don't get out, and they can able to have programs come to them in their own home. So I'm thankful for that. We also have our own YouTube channel, which we record some of our virtual programs on. When the weather is bad, like now, people can go on and channel in and watch. You can still get your workout. You can still watch art programs. You can watch lectures all on our YouTube channel. We will provide all this information afterwards. We try to have a variety because people like different things. So we do have, again, a very robust YouTube channel. Also, when the pandemic started, we created the Virtual Center for Active Adults. And the Virtual Center Active Adults is which I rep. Um, we provide programs weekly across the jurisdiction. So it's just not Arlington County folks, it's folks all over. And this way, people who are home, they can watch programs, and again, not just see Arlington County programs, but they can see programs in Fairfax County as well as Prince William County. Arlington County's day is on Thursday, so I generally host on that day, and it's phenomenal. It really is because one, folks can watch from home. Two, we have a following of folks who, again, like I said, take it and go and do other things together. But three, mainly for isolation. Um, People who don't get out and aren't able to get out are still able to have these programs. And again, it's just not Arlington County, but it's all over. And I've had a classroom where they were streaming from North Carolina, and I was amazed because I'm looking at the screen and I'm hosting and it says North Carolina, and it was one of our tree programs that we had. So I'll read the blurb about what the Virtual Center of Active Adults actually is. It's a multi-jurisdictional platform offering weekly virtual programming for older adults and adults with disability. The goal of VCAA is to enrich the lives of participants while reducing feelings of isolation. Older adults and adults with disabilities who live in Northern Virginia are welcome to use this free resource. Join us to participate in a variety of programs and classes, engage with your peers, connect with the community. Programs range from fitness classes to special presentations to interactive games. You can also watch pre recorded classes and programs on demand. We'll send the link as well for this so that you can check out their website.
All right. So we provide a couple different ways to provide updates about our programs. Probably the best way to receive those is through our e-news. And then we also have our 55 plus guide that's online. And then we have our 55 plus website through the county. We have some occasional marketing through local newspapers, and then our 55 plus YouTube that Sharleka shared. So if you would like to opt in to be on that 55 plus e-news, you can do that by emailing us at the 55 plus Arlington, VA email address. You can also just share any of your feedback there. If you have a question about a program, if you really enjoyed a program, if you really hated a program, if you would like to see a specific program that we don't have, we just want to hear anything from you. We have 2 people monitoring this email address, so you will probably hear back within 24 hours, if not sooner. So please feel free to write that down, 55 plus at arlingtonva.us, and please feel free to reach out.
All right, so now we open up to any questions. And like I said before, if it's something Sydney nor I can answer, we will pass that information to the appropriate person and you will receive a follow-up.
Okay, well, we do have a number of questions and comments. One of them is somebody saying they're disappointed that we don't automatically get printed copies of the 55 plus guide. A lot of people like being able to, you dog ear the programs they want to come back to and flip through it and just find it easier to read. You said that the community centers, the directors have printed copies of it. Is it possible for somebody to call their nearest center and reserve one of those copies?
That is correct. If someone,
Okay.
we actually mail out copies, people call me, we mail them out to them because we do know that access is important. And I am a person that I like to flip pages. I like the dog ear stuff as well. So we do understand. So we have a certain amount that we have this in-house, but we do mail them out to folks.
Okay, so if they call that phone number that's listed here,
The 228-4747, that's correct.
right? Okay. Next one is he said he's been going to Aurora Hills occasionally for events, and he just found out that they're only open 3 days a week. Is there any prognosis for it being open 5 days a week?
I did hear, not that it's a prognosis that it will be, that there have been talks about it because this has been a something that's been on the docket for a while. The people at Aurora Hills, as well as us, we would love for it to be 5 days a week. Hopefully, we'll be able to have that. But I do know it's been a lot of talks about trying to figure out ways to open up for 5 days. So stay tuned.
Okay, next comment is a lack of transportation to get to the various 55 plus events for people that don't drive. You mentioned a couple of things like the cafe, you know, people would be picked up and brought to and from it. Are there other possibilities to get transportation to events, or are you kind of on your own to get there?
So there is some transportation options. We used to have a partnership. It was Star. I don't know if we are still doing Star. There is a transportation booklet that we have that I'd be happy to share. Transportation. Sorry, I'm just writing myself a book. I'm not sure how up to date that is. But I can follow up on that and I'd be happy to share that with the group.
Okay. Next one is they're not happy about the design of the online program. They're saying, there are links on the front page that shouldn't be there and links that aren't there that should be, and it takes too many clicks to get to what you want to get to. Are there any thoughts about redesigning the website?
You're absolutely correct. Whoever said that is absolutely correct. We feel the same way. Um, I don't know if it's any thoughts about redesigning, but if you can send me that, I will follow that up with the appropriate person because I do know that if you go, I even tried it because someone was like, "Hey, Lika, try it yourself," and I tried it, and I'm like, "Wait a minute, that is a lot of clicks," and it is. So I'll follow up and I'll send that information. I'll provide that feedback to the appropriate staff,
Was this for the
Okay.
county website or for VCAA?
the county
No,
website.
it's,
It's for the county
well,
website.
they're also talking about the online 55 plus guide.
Oh, the guide they find to be.
Yeah.
Got it. I do know that we are in works of updating the 55 plus webpage. So we can definitely pass that on, that feedback.
But the
Right.
registration part, we'll pass that on as well because I do know it is a lot of clicks and
Yeah.
I'll pass that feedback on as well.
Okay. As far as the travel goes,
Mhm.
do all of those trips accommodate wheelchairs and walkers?
Yes.
Okay.
And
I
on
got it.
and I didn't discuss, we do have a charter bus that's for all of our trips. So it has the capacity, I believe 2 to 3 wheelchairs, as well as an undercarriage part where they can store, like if someone can needs to put their walker underneath, they can. We have that. Then we have our volunteers who assist folks who need additional accommodations as well.
Okay. A comment here that the art classes are fantastic, and are a great opportunity to foster thinking and creativity. So
Thank you.
one very happy customer there. And Steve has posted the 55 plus email address, phone number, and a link to the STAR program. So
Thank you.
Thank you,
that
Steve.
can help. Yep. Other than that, I think that's it for current questions. I don't know if people have anything else they want to ask about.
Looks like Allison has a hand up.
Okay. Yep.
Hey guys, I just wanted to say hi. I recently just in the new year joined 55 plus. My husband and I still work full time, so it's really I'm glad to hear that you're adding programming for people that do work because it's really we look at the program guide and we're like, God, that sounds like so much fun, but we can't go. And the programming looks amazing. My brother he's in his mid 60s and he's looking at moving because he's like, I can't believe you guys have all of this. This is crazy. It's like the most amazing programming. And granted, he lives in the Virgin Islands, which has zero in the way of services, but just he loves it. He comes and he just can't believe these are all these things that are available.
And
So
even for travel, we're trying to do programs that are evening and as well as weekends because we received that feedback that people work or people are caregivers. So we try to provide a variety because we do know that we're, servicing different people.
my girlfriends have been bugging me. They're like, if you don't join, you can't come on these trips with us. And we're all well under 65. So, we're pretty stoked. Thanks.
Thank you.
We've got a new question. Is there a chance that the intro to equipment at Lubber Run will be offered on a day other than Tuesdays? They,
The fitness orientations, yeah, I'm sure
yeah.
that could uh definitely be arranged. So I do that in partnership with Michelle Atkin, and she is the overall fitness supervisor. So I can definitely put that in her ear. Tuesdays, I think is typically just ideal for her because she has another fitness class there. But I can absolutely arrange that.
Right. And how do you decide what new programs to offer and how often do you do that?
So I can talk a little bit about fitness. So every year I do a year-end fitness survey. I send that out to everyone that's participated in a fitness or sports activity, and I get some feedback there. And then this year I've also started doing at the end of each season, I will send out another survey to get some feedback. So it's just kind of getting feedback from participants. And then I also will get get instructors who reach out. So if it's something that I think will be of interest to this group and they are available to teach within times that work for our community, then I will move forward with scheduling that programming. So it's kind of a mainly getting that feedback from our participants and then what comes my way and fielding what will be beneficial to this group or not.
And as far as travel, we have a advisory committee that meets quarterly. We get a lot of feedback from participants. We have an online survey as well as a paper copy on the bus for each trip so that we can know what works, what doesn't work, what can we improve on. So, and then I also get a lot of emails and phone calls from folks who just want to give the feedback and say, hey, I have a trip idea. So we welcome all.
I was the one who had put that on there. I was curious about the other categories besides travel and fitness. I mean, there are so many different categories in the 55 plus programs. Do you ever have like a focus group or something there where people could come together and say, well, gee, have you thought about doing a program on such and such in other areas besides the two that you guys, you two are involved with?
Sure. Yeah, so for our 55 plus centers, the center director works really closely with their advisory committee. So each of our 55 plus center has a group of volunteers that make up their advisory committee. So a lot of those participants will help with the programming. And 99% of the programs that we offer are led by volunteers who reach out to the directors who want to facilitate those programs. So it's a lot of those experts who have just done those things in their past just reach out to the directors and want to facilitate those programs. So a lot of it is people reaching out to the directors, and then there is a bit of directors reaching out. They have an idea about something and they just kind of have to do some cold calls, things like that. And then we have some connections, like things with our partnerships with like a Virginia Hospital Center. We kind of have a rotation with them where they have different topics that they'll rotate. Or with the Virginia Cooperative Extension, there are specific topics that they'll kind of rotate. So there's a lot of collaboration with different organizations, but a lot of it is just mostly volunteer based and just from the community.
And is there also an effort to reach out to people who maybe don't speak English? Are there a lot of classes for people who, as I said, might speak another language?
I think that is something that we could do a lot more of. I know one of our directors is a Spanish speaker and she's doing a lot more Spanish classes. I think that is something that we could probably do a lot more of. I
Agreed.
think there is a lot of different conversational groups. So there's like a Spanish conversation, there's like a French conversation, things like that. But it's not necessarily a program that's given in English and in Spanish. So I think it's finding those volunteers that are willing to offer it in both. So it's
Yep.
something definitely that we could do better with.
And
Right.
and Ashley, she's the Labyrinthine director, and we've been working closely since I'm with VCAA, and I'm trying to find programs that again are for all. And we've developed Spanish speaking programs virtually. We're actually going to do in the spring, we're going to do a walk around Run, and Ashley's going to teach like the different words because I believe like getting outside in nature is so important. So having to learn to learn a different language as well as being outside, I feel like is a double bonus.
Yeah. Well, it just seems like there are so many different cultures in Arlington, whether they're Asian or there's I think I've mentioned this once before that I think there's at least 40 different languages spoken in the Arlington community. And so to try to encourage more people to attend, it's important to offer those kinds of programs that are in their language as well, I would imagine.
Great.
Absolutely. And offering our publication or promotions in different language as well. I think I
Agree.
agree.
Right, right.
And we've got a comment here that for online registration, using wish list can be more streamlined than just clicking through. Maybe one of you could talk a little bit about that.
I have heard that. I have not done the user side of things to know exactly how that works. I don't know if you've done that, Lika.
I have not. I did hear that the wish list was removed the last time. That's what some feedback that I received, I believe, from Linda at Langston, that it wasn't there the last time. So I don't know much about. I just know that that part. I don't know much about it.
Yeah, I have heard, and I had an issue with a class being over enrolled, so I had to pull a list of the time in which people got in and registered for the class, and there were a large list of people that got in exactly at 12 when registration opened. So I'm wondering if it was those people that had it in their wish list. So I think it's just it has it in the wish list, and then it's easier to just go through and you can register versus people who are having to go through and search and add, search and add, search and add. So we can search more on that if that's of interest to people.
Yeah, it sounds like it is. This person says she used Wishlist for winter registration, but said it was cumbersome.
Oh,
So,
Got it.
double-edged sword, I guess.
yep. Another comment, given how quickly technology is evolving, is it possible to have more practical technology focused classes hosted by subject matter experts?
That is one of our goals. We had a tech guru, Nick, who received a great promotion, but he was outstanding. So I pulled him in maybe 3 times a year to do programs for us. Luckily, his supervisor has agreed to lend him because he's really good at what he does when it comes down. And again, it is one of our goals to increase that and to get more folks in when it comes to that, because it is evolving and people want to know. So we had programs about how to use Uber, what's the cloud and stuff like that, because these are things that people want to know. So we are trying to increase programming in technology.
And I would also say if there's something specific, like you say, practical technology, if there's like something specific, like if it was like AI or just a specific topic that you wanted, reach out to that, send an email to that 55 plus email address. Let us know, and then that can be passed on to the directors, and the directors could work to find someone to facilitate that programming.
Great idea.
And then, yeah, we could get that going for you, because technology is one of our most popular programming. And I know that that's something that the directors are always looking for.
Do you partner with the Arlington Library?
Yes. Yes, we did. We had a program. Sheila, who was my counterpart for 55 plus travel, she's done numerous in-person and hybrid programs with the library. I met with Bridget, and who is the coordinator for libraries in our contact, and we were discussing things that we were going to be doing for FY 25 and 26. So we do.
Okay. Got a request from uh, Steve to see if somebody in the audience that's using Wishlist would like to explain a little bit about what it is and how it works. Is there anybody?
Yeah, I've used the wish list a couple of different times. If you want to sign up for a class that's full, you can sign up for it and then be put on like a wait list. And then they're supposed to contact you if spaces open up. I'm not sure if wait list is the same as wish list. So maybe Sydney or Shalika can explain the difference.
What I know about the wish list is when people sign up, it's the things that they may want, but it's not necessarily what you're going to get on the wait list. Is you signed up for it, it was full, and then they put you down on the wait list.
In my understanding, you're not technically adding it to your cart, but it's kind of adding it to somewhere on your account where you can easily access it to add it to your cart. So it's kind of, you go through, you identify the classes that are of interest. I don't know if it's just like starring them or hearting them. I apologize, I've not done this from the user side. I've only done it, I'm registering people. So I think it's just you add it and maybe it's available. You can click my wish list and then you go through and then you can add to cart. So it's just kind of streamlining the process. That's my understanding of it. Again, I can see if there's any sort of like verbiage on that or any sort of anything we can share with you.
Yeah,
And
we've got a comment here. This person said she's added desired classes that she wants to sign up for, added them in advance of the registration, and then when the registration date opens up, it's easy to go back and register them. So she said it's a good tool and would not want to see it removed, just maybe streamlined a little bit.
okay. And what we'll do is the registration office, we'll follow up with them and we'll get like a real clear account of exactly how to do it and all that, and still even give the feedback of that, because I know that I had a couple of people say to me that they don't want it to go away, that it's beneficial on that end. So yes.
Okay, and just to let you know, we're about 9 minutes to 11.
Okay.
Um, Next question is, do you coordinate with adult education on available technology classes?
That's a good idea. I have not.
Yeah, no, not that I know of, but it does sound like a good
Good idea.
partnership.
Thank you.
Yep. And a question here about how do you sign up in advance? And it sounds like that's what the wish list is all about. You're
So
basically bookmarking the things you intend to register for,
yeah,
make it
just to
easy to
clarify,
get
it's
back to
not
them.
signing up in advance. It's
Right.
just kind of
Like you said, bookmarking it, because
right. Bookmark
it
is a good word.
doesn't guarantee that you're going to get into it.
Right. Okay.
Anything else, Gary?
I'm not seeing anything yet, but people can pop in anytime.
We have 8 minutes yet.
And even if you have any questions later on, and feel free to contact us. We're here and we love feedback.
And we get a copy of your presentation
Yeah.
to
Yes. And they'll have
send
our
it to the AMV office. So anybody that couldn't watch today can
exactly.
ask for a copy of it.
May I speak?
Hi.
Yes.
Ann.
I want to give a shout out to this program. My first trip was in 2007. I had just retired, and it was the first thing I did after I retired. And we spent the day in Little Italy in Philadelphia. And if you're on a great big bus on the little streets of Little Italy in Philadelphia, it is a scary proposition. And I have been on so many trips. Leka knows this for sure. It's been a lifeline for fun, and you meet a lot of people, and it's a really glorious opportunity to see the world as we even though I did not have internet throughout COVID, I was calling in and going to the Detroit Museum of Art. And they had a wonderful docent who was able to tell us, this is what we see in this picture. And by God, I saw those pictures. It was lovely. So I have great feeling for this particular program. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ann. She sends such lovely emails, and as staff, you need to hear what's going on and how people feel. And when Ann says, "Liga, now I have a computer, I can see what's going on," it touched my heart. It touched my heart. It really did.
I have another comment here that they appreciate the various programs and trips and all the staff working in such a thoughtful way to put all this together.
Thanks, Tammy.
Thank you.
So are there any kind of dream programs that you'd love to put on but haven't yet been able to get the resources or the staffing or been able to put together?
That's a good question.
Put me on the spot.
Maybe like a formal dance and formal. Like I like to get dressed up. I love music. That's why I love our New Year's Eve party, to see people having a great time. Maybe something like that.
Kind of in the same vein, just because we're coming off of New Year's and I put that one on. We typically just do it at the Celtic House. It's a very nice event. But I think it would be fun to do like a murder mystery sort of event where people get dressed up, you're assigned a character, and it's kind of like an interactive whodunit. I think that would be fun. Have a nice meal and beverages. I think that would be cool. Not sports or fitness, but more fun.
But Sydney, she actually coordinated the New Year's Eve party, which was phenomenal. Shout out to Sydney, because it's a huge feat getting people together. But again, I had a ball, and Steve was there, and yeah, we had fun.
Yep.
Gary, are you going to say anything else?
Well, I was going to say you had a comment, Cheryl. I don't know if you want to talk to
Well,
that.
I was just going to share with Sharleka and Sydney that I don't know if you know, I produce and host Aging Matters, and it's been quite a while since I've done a presentation with 55 plus, and I'm pleased to share with the group here that I'm starting my 9th year of doing Aging Matters radio and TV. So lots of new programs to talk about, and so I know I can get in touch with your folks over there and that, but I just thought I'd pass it along as well, that be happy to provide information again to, because I'm sure you have a lot of new participants. So
We do. We will connect.
okay. Well, given the fact that it is 10:57, we'll have 3 minutes to do something else besides coffee and conversation. So thank you both, Sharleka and Sydney, for your presentation today. It was very, very helpful, and I'm sure lots of folks will sign up. And just encourage everybody to tune in next week. Coffee and Conversation. Our guest will be Robin Edwards, who is the president of Care Patrol, and I've actually interviewed her several times. And she is a real resource for helping families decide what the best options are for finding new care facilities and deciding what the next steps are if a family member needs to go to another residence or even age in place. So I encourage folks to tune in next week to listen to what she has to say. So that'll be a week from today at 10 o'clock. And until then, stay warm and dry and don't hurt your back shoveling the snow. And we'll see you next week.
And thank you. Thank you.
Thank you
Have a
guys.